Welcome to the Creative Brew, helping you keep your creative juices brewing. We're giving out chunks of insight, motivation, and practicality for your creative journey. My next partner is Elevate Coffee Trading, and if you appreciate specialty coffee, enjoy outdoor adventure, and love helping elevate the lives of children around the world, then you're going to love Elevate Coffee Trading. Their mission is to extract hope through love, coffee, and adventures. There's free shipping in the United States, and every bag of coffee helps sponsor health and education for children in coffee producing countries and in areas of need in the United States. You can use promo code Elevate21 on your next order, and you can follow their journey on social media at Elevate Coffee Trading. Or you can visit online at elevatecoffeetrading.com, and let's start extracting hope together. And this episode is brought to you by Baba Coffee, smuggling good vibes. Baba roasts their coffee beans each week and only offers the freshest coffee. They have espressos, lattes, cappuccinos, pour over, or drip coffee. You can try their cold brew coffee, nitro cold brew, or bulletproof coffee, and boba milk teas. They also have a wide assortment of delicious food. I would suggest you try the avocado toast, mimosas, wine, or beer. On the weekends, you can check out some great music like the Soto Six and food like Eliza the Shelf and others over the weekend, every Friday and Saturday, beginning at 6 p.m. You can check out everything they got going on Facebook and Instagram at Baba Coffee. And welcome. This is a special episode. This is an out of bounds segment of the Creative Brew. So normally, obviously, with the show for people that listen, I usually the main foundation is creativity, relationships, entrepreneurship, mindset. So I tend to be a intersect between a lot of those different things, but specifically with the Out of Bounds series, I try to mix a lot of different things, plus things that I'm always interested in. So I'm really curious about a lot of different things, a lot of different topics, and then, like I said, like bringing on people that maybe have interesting perspectives or maybe things that I need to consider. So I have the fortunate to be able to bring on one of my student athletes at Palomar College. Recently graduated, so she'll be going to Cal State San Marcos. Farah, so I've been, yes, really blessed to be able to meet her and to know her the last couple of seasons, and I know we've had some crazy conversations, especially on the van rides and just talking. But it's always cool to see what maybe the perspective of someone that's just getting out of college and what they're maybe how they see life, how they see their future, and maybe everything in between. So, Farah, I'll let you introduce yourself, give a short little story, and we'll go about this episode. So, thank you for coming on.
Of course, thank you for having me. I'm Farah Mudher. I wrestled at Palomar College. I also wrestled in high school. I started sophomore summer, and I'm a business major. I was a business major at Palomar, and now I'm a business major at Cal State San Marcos. And I also coach girls high school wrestling, and that's like a short description of me.
So you just appeared. So that's just a short description. You just you just appeared out of the blue, and I wrestled for Palomar College, and
No, I was born in Iraq. Was there for like 13 days, and then me and my family moved to Jordan. Stayed there for like a year, and then we went to Egypt, and then we stayed there for like 2 years, and then we moved down to the U.S. Or no, up to the U.S. And I was living in like Virginia until maybe kindergarten, and then I came here. I originally lived in Vista, lived there for like 2, 3 years, and then we came down here to like San Diego.
oh, cool. That's cool. So I know with even with you, I know you had started wrestling in high school and wrestling at Palomar. What has been the maybe the experience with you? I don't know. Sometimes, especially female wrestlers, they can have good experiences, bad experiences, and then maybe get into a new environment. For you, like what is like maybe wrestling in general? What has that done for you?
wrestling in general has like practically like I don't want to be like everybody else and say like, oh, it like saved my life, but it really did save my life. I was around like a lot of people that like were just doing bad stuff, like I don't know, like vandalizing, ditching, whatever, ditching classes, not caring about their grades. Some people I hung around like didn't even finish high school. Like they
Yeah.
just like because like their grades were just so bad, they're like whatever. And I was just hanging around those people and then like I don't know, I also had like a support system like my brothers for example, like they're very into like fighting, they're very into wrestling, they're very into like boxing, jujitsu and all that. And so like I talked to them and they were telling me like I should just join wrestling. And then I did and then like it gave me like a purpose to like uh how do I say like to keep going in a way because like in the match like if you lose your first match like you still got to keep going and go to the next. And then like keeping that up, you have to have good grades and a good attendance and like be good, especially in high school. You had to like have like a good attendance, good reputation, especially with staff. So like you could be able to continue to wrestle. Like you, it gives me like a perspective like you can't have your cake and eat it too with wrestling. Like you can't be bad, like you can't do bad in school and then continue to wrestle. It just like that's just like a main like example of what I was like trying to say or like thinking. But that's what my how I can put it into better words without like stuttering and like going on and on about like little things like ah.
No, no, that's a good analogy. That's I think that's something that I definitely a lot of kids need to know that sometimes you can be really talented, but if your habits aren't there, then it's going to be really hard. Especially at higher levels, go into junior college or you go to the level or even the NCAA level. You've got to make sure that you've got some good habits because sooner or later something's going to go. But either you're wrestling or your personal life, one of those is going to go. So you got to make sure all that stuff is in place. And I think a lot of kids don't realize that. I know a lot of kids, they want to. I wrestle Division 1, and a lot of kids like I want to wrestle Division 1. I want to do this, and I was like, well, you don't know how that is a mentally exhausting thing. Like you have to constantly be prepared every day, especially with classes and competitions. And so I do urge kids, like maybe you're not ready for Division 1 level yet, but hey, look, you can go to junior college, you can go to NAIA, and then transfer if you need to. So with you, like I said, I know you've been with us for the past 2 seasons. Did you get in touch with Coach Box? And I know some of the girls now some of them give up after high school and they're
Yep.
done competing. And like I said, with people like you've been able to be in the program for the last couple of seasons now. How did you get in contact with Coach Box and Palomar College?
So, backstory, I like a lot of people from like East County, especially East County wrestling, like they knew me for like a while and like they always kept telling me, "Are you gonna want do you want to wrestle? Like do you want to wrestle in college? Do you want to do this?" And I'm like, "No, I'm done. Like, I'm done." I was like, I took off the shoes and I was like, "No, I'm done competing." And then I get a text from my old high school coaches and then they were like, "Oh, like are you sure you're done competing? Like you should just go compete. Like you should go do this. Like you have like the heart for it and stuff like that." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know." Until like I don't like I just got picked up by one of my coaches and then they were like, "Okay, we're gonna go somewhere." And I was like, "Okay." And then he drove me up to Palomar. And I was like, "Okay." And that's when I met Box. I did have Box's number from Anastasia, like Tosh, like one of the Tolentino sisters. And she was just telling me I should just do it. And then I texted him from there and then that's just how I got in. Like I had like a little in. I had a little in.
All right. No, it's pretty cool. And then, like I said, obviously, I know. Um, what was I guess, your initial experience with Palomar College, and then fast forward to now, like what has that been like?
I loved it. I loved it. I love the coaches. I love the atmosphere. I love the girls' team. The girls' team in the beginning of the season, like not in the beginning, but like last season, not this season, but like the last season, they were just so small, and then like all of them, we were also like because of how small it was, we were all really close, and then like I don't know, they just like drove me to like continue going. Like I had a really good support system, especially when like I had to cut down to a whole new weight class. I had no idea like how to wrestle in. Like I still had them. They were helping me cut weight. They were always texting me like, "Are you okay? Do you need anything? Are you sure you want to go down?" I'm like, "Let's do it. Like let's do it." And then like I don't know, like they drove me into like doing better. And then I remember state I didn't do good. And then I had like a no, it was Mount Sac. I didn't do good, and me and Box were just sitting on the floor talking for like an hour. Like some of the girls were still going and he was talking to me, but he was looking over, obviously. He's a coach. He has to look over everybody. But he was like talking to me and stuff like that. And he was like, I want you to keep going. Like you're a really good athlete. I want you to be a captain next year. And I'm like, dude, like let's not do all that. And then I think my talk with him helped me a lot into like, okay, like I should just continue the season and just finish it out. And then I met these girls too here. Like everybody's so kind to each other. Everybody's so helpful with each other. And I don't know, even when we're having like the most like dreadful weight cut, everybody's still there for each other. Especially the van rides, they're pretty fun. Like we get into some topics there.
Had some some legendary vain conversations there. Uh, so even like I said, even when you and I know you started coaching too as well. Uh, has that helped when you coming back and helping out with the high school? Has that helped you out tremendously? Just maybe from a different perspective, like how you see coaching or even wrestling.
Yes, 100%. Like wrestling, especially at like a college level, like a JUCO level, like talking to these girls and then like even like I don't know, like being in the same like county as them, like the same division, and then like going into a higher level and then seeing a lot of different girls and then seeing how like they perceive everybody around here, especially when they're wrestling. I'm like, why are you looking at somebody and so scared of them? I don't know. Once they see a singlet, they freak out. Or like once they see somebody with a name behind it, they'll be like, "Oh my gosh." And I'm just like, ever since that whole like that NCAA like tournament, I was like, dude, like anything could happen. Like anything could, a true freshman won it.
Yeah,
Like I was really like anything could happen. You guys can't just be like looking at a girl singing and be like, oh my god, they come from this school. I'm just like, dude, anything could happen, especially on the mat. A lot can happen in like what is it in high school? Like 6 minutes? Dude, anything could happen.
yeah,
You could be winning and then you could lose, or you could be losing and then you could come out with a crazy thing and then win the match. You never know.
yeah. It's true. Like even heck, I know even in girls, women's freestyle, that's even hey, you could be losing and end up getting locking up something, and that could be a route. So I know I've learned so much as a coach in freestyle over the last couple of seasons, and yeah, I said I think I love freestyle more than folk style now. But I mean, so right now, obviously at the with you in the season, it didn't go as planned. What did you is that something what do you feel like you learned from that? And is that something that you can give back like to maybe to some of your high school wrestlers?
Mhm. Um, I don't know. Like every time I walked on the mat, especially at Palomar, I was just like, dude, I'm just gonna go out there and wrestle. Like all my like half the time when I was wrestling, like I was always freaking out about like, oh my god, like I'm gonna do this, I want to do this. But then I just like I just like I don't know what happened. I just like felt like a water like go down my head, like go down my body, and I was like, all right, dude, like I'm gonna lock in. And then like it's like I don't know. Looking back at it, it's just like okay, like there could have been things I could have been more happy with it, but in reality, I'm just really happy with the atmosphere. I just love the experience. I love learning stuff. I like learning more from like experiences and like my perception on like little things than like oh like wrestling and like doing this and I try to put that into my girls though too, like especially like individual conversations with them. And I'm just like, dude, everybody's freaking out about like I said earlier, like a lot of the people are like freaking out about like who this girl is or if she's big or like if she got muscles. Like I'm just like, why do you care? Like it's like you're gonna look back at this and then you're gonna regret thinking like, oh my god, like I was overthinking about somebody like I shouldn't have overthought about. Like I definitely regret that when I look back at high school. Just like damn, I definitely regret like overthinking or like doing this because I for sure could have done this. And then I was just like, I try to tell them that, and then a lot of them, like one of them, she's really good. Like she would tell me, like I don't care, I'm just gonna go out there, and I'm like, fire.
It's hard. It's especially now because I mean even back then, like so we didn't have social media. So it's like, we heard of people, but it's not like we watched highlights or anything. But now with social media, you can sit there and go online and see all their matches and then all that stuff sort of gets magnified, like, oh, they're doing all this and like, what chance do I have? So I think now I think it's even more prevalent to keep, as far as from the mindset aspect, keeping a lot of those kids in check because, like I said, they can be their own worst enemy. They can go out there and lose before they even
Yeah,
stepped on the mat. You never know. The other person could be having a bad weight cut. You just never know. I was like, I think just learning how to keep those kids, just mental, perspective in check. And like I said, going back and trusting themselves to make sure that They got a coach that has confidence in them, and obviously working on technique and practice. Um, uh, with you, you find yourself with coaching kids. Like, what's your coaching style? I know everyone's got different coaching styles, but do you feel like it changed and adjusted, or do you still have that same way of coaching?
I feel like I'm like still a first year coach, so I still am trying to figure out my coaching style. But like I like whenever they go into a match, I look at them. Like I don't look at the other girl. I look at like the athletes that I'm coaching and looking at their facial expressions. Because a lot of high school like growing up and seeing like a lot of high school kids like they're very like they show a lot of emotions. Like especially in their faces during the match. So like whenever I would like hear like look at them and see the other coach freaking out on them, right? I'd just be like, relax, you're okay. And then you see them relax. You see them physically like their shoulders go looser. They start to breathe better. But like, I don't know. I just like let them do their own thing. And then if they like need some motivation, especially from the corner, and like because like they're freaking out, like you could see it in their eyes are big, like their lips are pressed together, their shoulders got tense out of nowhere. You kind of that's when I step in and be like, okay, let's do this, let's move, let's work on this, let's do this. I don't know. I have a lot of trust in my girls, even if they're winning or losing. It's just like I just step in when I have to, especially with if like they're freaking out or anything, or if they're overthinking something.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's something I've noticed. I know it's specifically in the San Diego area, just well, a lot of coaches and how they develop, or even how they talk to kids is like they're sitting there, they're screaming and hollering at them. It's like, dude, that's like half of them don't even know 20% of what you're trying to show. Is like it's just one of those where like you have to be easy with a lot of these kids. Not everyone is coming in there as a California state champ or something like that, or they've got all this experience. Those are the kids you could probably coach a little bit tougher, but for the most part, a lot of them don't have a lot of experience. And you have to coach from where they are right now, and
Exactly.
understanding how to connect better. I think that's where I feel some coaches are losing it to where they're not um, they're not connecting with that specific wrestler, that specific person, like from their perspective.
Yeah.
They're trying to coach from where they are, and that might not it. No, they might not be ready for that. Now you may have to like dial it down a little bit and say, hey, look, hey, this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Can we just work on this one in this one situation? And
Exactly.
so it's just one of those, just connecting, just understanding where they are. And they're saying you just never know. You got some kids that maybe they have just a bad home atmosphere, and they're bringing that in with the match too, and that's already more pressure. And then you got the coach screaming at them, and then I was like, that's one of those where a lot of those kids shut down. Um, so it's just understanding like how to understand where each person is coming from, and
Exactly.
connecting the dots. I know as a coach, I try to do that. I try my best to do that and understand that, like, especially with our girls teams, like everyone's got different personalities,
Exactly.
and
A
knowing
lot
that
of
I have to talk to one girl completely different from the other one, but understanding like where everyone is coming from. So it can be hard. It's hard, but you just learn and grow. And obviously, you would love for people to come in and like be super talented and ready to go, but it doesn't happen like that. And that's something even us at Palomar. That's something that we strive on, is like just learning how to develop and know that like it's going to take time. We don't stress y'all out. We don't, hey, you need to do. No, it's just like it's going to be a development, and being all right with that.
Mhm. Um, I feel like, especially in wrestling, I developed like not even developed. I witnessed like so many coaching perspectives. Not like from like I had like a coach that would yell at me every time. I had a coach that would personally work with me one on one and like, okay, let's do this, let's do that. Or like I had a coach that like talked to me in a way like, oh, he knows how I would wrestle. And then I had a coach that would like talk to me after respectfully, like, okay, let's work on this, let's work on that. And all those put together, I realized that like especially with girls, a lot of I don't know, a lot of people like a lot of different like because like there's mainly guy coaches, especially in like high school and stuff like that. So a lot of them would just like look at me crazy for like not yelling, or like they would look at me crazy, oh my god, of course the girl's yelling, or of course the girl's being sensitive, or of course the girl's doing this. But like putting all those together, I've not once yelled at my kids in a match at all. I
Yeah,
had that's just something I didn't like in high school. So why would I go put that on kids that I'm coaching and trying to help? And like the only time I get on them is yo, you guys are like cute. One of them makes cookies, okay? So You hear her coming into practice like, just ate like a box of M&Ms and then a cookie. Dude, obviously I'm gonna get on you for that. What are
Yeah,
you
that's
like? That's the only time I would actually genuinely get on them, or of course they're just being dumb, like doing dumb stuff. I'll be like, dude, like let's lock in.
yeah.
But a lot of the girls like they do see me as like a coach, but they also like see me as someone they could talk to personally about little things. But in reality, they take me very serious. Like they're just like, oh yeah, she definitely knows what she's doing, or she knows what she's talking about, or this or that. So
Now, do you feel like, even as a coach, maybe from your perspective, do you feel like you would respect, um, if you were a wrestler, would you respect your coach more if they were in there like working out with you in the practice room, or if they were just coaching and sitting in the corner or sitting on the wall?
I feel like I've already like no like I've had a coach like that would sit on the wall, especially when I'm wrestling and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? But like I would respect someone more if they like were to help me one on one, especially if like sometimes I would even like I would look back at my matches, I'd be like, what the hell did I do wrong? And then I see from a coach perspective and like someone that was actually in the corner or someone that was actually helping me one on one before, and then they'd be like, well, you did this, and I'd be like, oh. Especially with you, you'd be like, you don't move this leg, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't move the leg, and then I look back at my matches, I'm like, oh, I don't really move that leg.
Yep, it just stayed there. Rest your body went, except that one that
Except
I'm like, I like you probably could have stopped 90% of your takedowns if people's takedowns if you just moved that one.
I don't know. I don't even know how like that. I swear I always feel like I'm moving, but then just one leg is just staying rooted while I'm moving. So it's this, and then the rest is like that.
Video don't lie. I know I had that happen, and I was in college, and I was it was after a match, and I was sitting there watching video, and there's like you're just like you're not moving, you're like you're not hand fighting, and I was like I'm moving around, I'm moving. I was like he's like watch, he's like all right, watch the tape, and sure enough, I grabbed a hold of him, but my feet wasn't moving. And I was like, oh, that's what you're talking about. So I was like, to my perspective, I thought I was moving around, but it was like, no, it was like you got a hold of them, feet stopped. And so now I'm always in the habit of like constantly moving. I was like, I had to see that first. I had to see it on video, see it for myself, and be like, oh, that's what's going on. But weird what you can see from a different perspective as a coach. Um, as opposed to like when you're actually in there and you're just dialed in and you're trying to compete, and like those little things you don't think about. It's crazy.
Dude. I try to tell them. I literally try to tell them. And it's just like it's so crazy like seeing my I remember in high school I would crash out on my coaches. Like they called me like a crash out back in high school. I was like, "What the hell are you talking about? You don't know nothing." Like I wasn't talking to like my head coach obviously cuz like he would not let me yell at him like at all. But I remember I was talking to the assistant coach and I was like, "Dude, what the hell's wrong with you? Like I didn't do this, I didn't do that." And then I look back on matches and I'm like, oh. Or like I don't know, like especially coming like seeing you guys and telling me like, Farah, you did this wrong. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like I would always see that in my head. And then like I'd like and then I would reflect that onto my girls and I'd be like, well, you guys did that, and they'd be like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, damn, that's exactly how I was. That's literally exactly how I was. Like and it's so crazy to see a full circle moment, and I feel like I just got humbled really bad. Or like really bad karma in front of my face because like damn, I really gave this person's attitude. And then I was trying to tell them the same thing, and then they're just like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? I'm not gonna listen to that. I'm like, okay.
I was like, well, you're either gonna learn from us, or you gotta learn in the
Ex-
match. Either way.
I learned a lot from my coaches. Like, the last day of Palomar practice, I sobbed. Like, I was sobbing.
Yeah.
Like, I literally like called like my old head coach, and I was like, dude, like, thank you so much. Like I have a lot of love for you. Like, thank you so much for doing this for me. He's like, dude, just go have. It's literally just practice. Like, why are you crying? And I'm like, dude, like, I'm not gonna compete. Like, I'm done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird. Yeah, like you get that last match forever, and it's like, wow, it's like this is it. It's yeah, it's weird because I said you put so much time and effort and traveling and cutting weight, and it's like now it's done. Like,
Yeah.
wow, it's crazy, especially for junior colleges because it's so short. If it was obviously if it was wrestling NAIA or NCAA or something like that, heck, our season would have been going from all the way up through March. So,
Yeah.
which ours actually got extended out. It was weird, but it just, as far as we're starting in January, as opposed to like other, universities, they're starting back in November, December. So it can turn into a long season. But even with this year, it turned out. It's actually, a really long season, just really getting
It really
extended
was.
out. But
Everybody was tired. Like, I'm like, dude.
I know y'all was wore out and and
Oh,
done.
I swear that's the thing. The way state happened was just so sad. It just had to get extended. Like I feel like if it wasn't extended, the way state happened to like three of us, like everybody was so injury prone. It was like people were sick. People, me and this other girl got hurt at the tournament. Some people were tired. Some people did get hurt. Some people got gassed out way too fast. People
Yeah.
were just tired and like not like they like what do they say tapped out. It was just sad how it happened, but I feel like you just got to be hungry for it.
It's just getting that feedback and adjusting, just not understanding what happened. Obviously, I think if it got pushed back into April, I think it would have been some whole completely different scenarios. But with that extra month and then going into May, it can be stressful. And I know half of y'all were focusing on finals and everything else too. So like all that stuff was hitting a lot of y'all at the same time. But I said sometimes it's part of it. It's just understanding how to manage it and make sure you're taking advantage of just all the things, all the resources that you have. But it can be hard. It's hard.
It is.
Uh, so I know there were some things, and I said we had some. It was legendary van rides, and so I know personally, there was new terminology and things that I learned. So I learned about rage baiting, and I learned about so for people that don't know, for old timers like me that don't understand like what rage baiting is, what can you explain to our audience, to our listeners, what that is?
Rage bait is where you like say something and you try to get a reaction out of somebody. That's
Okay.
like they do, and if they do get a reaction, they just got rage baited.
So what's the difference? So wait a minute. So what's the difference between that and like someone just like teasing with you? Like, hey, we're good friends. Maybe I'm roasting you or teasing with you. Would you consider that rage bait?
Teasing is like oh, you're trying to get at like you're trying to be like ah, but like it's like rage baiting is where you say something purposely to get a reaction out of somebody. Teasing could be like oh, it's not really like it's like simple. Rage baiting is like yo, like I'm trying to get you to rage. Like I'm trying to get you to be mad. I mean,
Yeah.
and if you get a reaction, then you just rage baited somebody. I don't know. Rage baiting is annoying. I'm easily rage baited. So don't I?
Well, I know you. I know you are. I know. But yeah. So do you feel like that's something that is just normal? I mean, I know there's a lot of like actually between the girls and guys, there's a lot of different terminology I'm starting to learn. Like I got like Goy Maxon and
Oh,
all this stuff just whilst and I'm like, what am I talking about? But do you as someone coming out of college now and so you're living in this world where you got AI, you got all these different terminologies and just things just as far as things that's just going on in the world in general, uh, like how do you see life right now? Like where do you see like, man, this is just some craziness going on right now, or do you find ways of just like keeping yourself centered and understand where you are right now?
I feel like sometimes I do that, but at the same time, it's like the highs can be really high and the lows can be really low. But every day I think, okay, like tomorrow's gonna be a great day, and if you're really low right now, then it's just gonna go up from here. Because nothing could be as bad as having like a rough time and then just like have it having to be rougher. No, that's just your mentality thinking a bad day's a bad day. You could continue to have a good day. It's just you're mentally blocking yourself into being like oh, this is a bad day. Like I'm like that's it. Like but like if you're not working to make it into a better day, then that's just your mentality is just not good. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Me personally, I feel like I think I'm having a bad day and then I realize, wait, there's always tomorrow. Or wait, I can still make this a good day. Like I could be having a bad day at 3 p.m. and I'm like, dude, it's only 3 p.m. I still have until like what? Until I go to bed. Like I can make this a better day. You know what I'm saying? That's how I just perceive everything and I just like I feel like I take a lot of stuff with a grain of salt. Like I don't like everything's a lesson. Everything's either a lesson or a blessing. That's how I see it.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. So rage baitable.
Oh, dude.
Have you always been I wouldn't say volatile, but maybe just very passionate. Have you always been passionate about that? Maybe something that you believe or feel like is truth for you? Have you always been someone like that?
100%. I've always been very passionate about the things that I say. I feel like why say something if I'm not going to stand behind what I say? It's just like if I don't have anything to say, I'm just going to stay quiet. Or if
Yeah.
I do have something to say, then might as well stay behind what I say. I'm not going to repeat myself. I don't know. I feel like I'm a very I don't know. That's just how I was raised and like the culture I was behind is just like everybody says something like so like harsh, but it's not coming from a harsh perspective. It's just like everybody stand on what they say. Everybody like you just stand your ground on what you say and what you perceive, and then if people don't agree with it, then people don't agree with it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I asked that because, like I said, I just getting to know you over the last couple of years. I know how you are, but I, I've noticed coming from Tennessee, completely different culture in the South, and out here, I have learned that um, um, people are flaky, uh, and people can ghost you, and so it's just understanding like how people are sometimes,
Mhm.
and then at the same time too, like not sharing your truth. Sometimes people sugarcoat things, and no judgment, just understanding like how people are. But I have noticed that if you got something on your mind, you usually are pretty bold about saying what you believe to be true. And do you feel like maybe what you maybe obviously I know you're continuing your education and looking at the coach. Do you feel like is that something you want to keep, or do you have to feel like you have to be politically correct at times?
For what, coaching in school?
Well, just yeah, especially maybe some of your beliefs, or maybe the things that you believe, or just things that's going on in the world. Do you feel that's conflicting with maybe having to be politically correct, depending on the audience you're around?
Oh, I feel like it literally depends on the audience I'm around. 100%. I feel like, especially with me being, I feel like I come from a very, like, not come, but like, I'm saying, like, I work at like a school, okay, where a lot of the kids are not very, like, intact with cultural stuff. Like, they're just very, like, they just know one thing, they haven't expanded and seen a lot of other people. So
Yeah,
coming, like, for me, especially coming from this type of background, a lot of them would, like, look at me and be like, oh wow, like she's actually like I've never met someone like this, but in reality they're really cool. And I feel like
yeah,
that's like their way of thinking, but I don't want to say that obviously, but, like that's what I'm gonna say. But especially the coaches too. Not even like from like my like being politically right or anything. It's just like my me being a woman in general. It's like a lot of them looks at me as like a well, this is a woman. Like she's a very strong person. Like she's very like passionate. Like I think I would say I'm passionate, but a lot of them would say like I'm very hard. I'm very hard headed. I'm this. I'm hot headed. But it's really like my opinion can be easily swayed, but I'm still gonna stand behind what I say. Like I don't like I'm a girl, dude. Like I don't like being wrong, but like I can be in the wrong.
well, yeah, I said that you, like I said, you've been the one. I know with you, you've been the one that's like, hey, if you're wrong, you just you let us know. But you do share, you are strong about what your opinions are, and I think that's good. You need to, I think for kids, for young women, female high school kids, like people that's transitioning, maybe high school kids going to college, kids that's already graduated college, going on different things. Good to keep what they for them to believe to be true, and they got certain opinions, perspectives, understanding they can always change. I might be talking to a whole completely different Farah in 10 years with whole different life experiences, and maybe we ask the same questions. You're coming with different things, but it's just understanding like you try to be true to what you believe and sometimes standing behind those convictions, and right or wrong, you can always change, but it's just understanding like this is how I want to live my life, or just how I see the world right now. And I think a lot of kids lose sight of that. I think a lot of kids are so apt to follow certain things and not question it. And likewise, I want people to question it. I want people to question life and question sometimes their culture, who they actually are. Um, and I think from that you can get better answers as far as who you actually are and where you need to go.
100%. Um, yeah, 100% actually. I feel like for me especially, it's more like how I perceive things, it's more like like I said, experiences and stuff like that, but I feel like I'm very deep on like mentally. Like I'm very deep and I think more like central ground of a lot of things. I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like say I had like a I don't know how to say it, like somebody was talking to me the other day and then they were just like, "Oh, I want to continue doing this," but I'm like, "Okay, what are you doing to do that?" And then they're like, "I don't know, I'm trying to figure out a plan B." right? And I'm like, how are you going to figure out a plan B if you haven't even started plan A? It's more like I don't know, I like thinking a lot. Like I like thinking, but I don't like talking out loud. I like just like if I'm listening to music or if I'm driving, I'm like, especially the long hour car rides. I drive like an hour 45 minutes every
Yeah,
day. Especially with music playing, I'm like thinking right here and I'm like, I could have done that. I could have done this. Or sometimes I talk out loud and I'm like, wait, hold on. Why did I think that? And then I
yeah.
continue thinking. I don't know. That's I feel I it's like you see things differently. A lot of people see things differently.
So, with you as a coach, do you feel like, and I know specifically in the San Diego area, I know female wrestling is growing really quick, but do you feel like you still have to try extra hard to be able to be seen as a coach? No, I know we've had other girls on the team that they coach and some of them had some actually struggled with some things as far as with them being seen as a coach, or maybe they've been running practices and they're not getting the maybe the opportunity to do certain things as opposed to a guy wrestler. Do you feel like that's maybe from your perspective? Do you feel like you have to do things a little bit extra or do more things in order to be seen?
I feel like when I first graduated high school, I did help out at my old high school. And then I was there helping out. I'm not gonna put two perspective from two different schools, but back in my old high school, I feel like I did have to get put in more to be seen. Because obviously in reality, I like I just graduated, and then these kids already knew who I was. They went to high school with me. We went to the same parties together.
Yeah,
It was just like I didn't get respected at all, and especially the coaches. Like they've seen me like when I was a kid up until now. You think they're gonna like respect somebody right away? No, they're gonna see me as a kid. So I was just like I'm not gonna work on this. But there's some girls that did respect me because I was the one that brought them into wrestling. And like some of them did respect me, especially since I was their captain in high school. Just the girls, but the guys would just look at me and try to make jokes, and I'm just like, dude, like get out of my face. But here at the new high school that I'm coaching at, it's because like the coach apparently was looking at me since I was in high school. Like he was like, you're a really good wrestler. I know who you are, yada yada. And I had it in like I had Honey. She was also coaching there because he also like he wanted me and Honey on the team, but obviously he's not gonna say that. It was just like a thought. He was like, damn, I wish they were on my roster. Honey was working there. Honey told me to come because he apparently wanted me to go there. Like he wanted me to coach. He was like, I want another girls coach. I want her on the staff. I go there, whatever. But I feel like the people that no, sorry, let me rephrase. Me, I feel like I didn't have that much trouble, but I did definitely have a lot of trouble in high school because of like there's the students that look at you as a friend. Or there's the staff that just know you for so long that obviously they're not going to take me serious and see me as like nothing more than a student. Here, especially where I'm coaching at, I just have like it's me, Honey, and then the girls' head coach. The girls' head coach is heavily on like you guys are gonna take them serious. If I hear anything wrong, then you guys are gonna come. Like I'm gonna find out. They're gonna come to me.
yeah,
But I feel like I didn't have that much struggle, especially like running practices. Like they just look at me and start joking around because they think I'm gonna like play with them. I'm like, no, dude, you're practicing right now. Like sometimes I had to yell at them once. I was like, get up and run. You know. But I feel like especially being a girls' coach, people are just like oh, you shouldn't be talking to other girls like that, younger girls like that. And I'm like, dude, I am a girl. So you think I'm not gonna talk to them how I want to be talked to, especially if like lock in? But I feel like I didn't have that much trouble. I did have a lot of trouble with like running practices on my own though, and they took them taking me serious. But
yeah.
they would take me very serious on the mat. They would take me very serious at tournaments. They would take me very serious if the other coaches were here. Running practices 1-on-1, that's when they like are like a little and then but I told them to get up and run and they do so.
All right. Yeah, that can be tough. Running structured practice and definitely making sure that they focus and lock in and understanding what you're going to show that day and how is that going to be prevalent to what we're doing during the week. So it can be hard. It can be hard. I know I'm not like the best. Uh, Coach Buck does a really good job structuring practices. I'm not the best at like structuring practices, but if there's like certain things that I've seen from maybe past matches, past tournaments that I know we need to work on, then I'll just focus. I'll focus on that and find ways of running practice that way. So from a more of a adaptive, creative side, I tend to that tends to be my strong point. But if I had to like structure like day by day what we're doing, I'm not the best at that. I would hand that off to somebody else. Um, But if there's certain things like specifically, hey, I saw this at the tournament, we struggled. Let's work on this right now. Uh, so it's always a learning process. It's always it one of those things where something can work for you in season, and maybe the next season they're just not communicating, or maybe they're not getting the right response as you would want as student athletes, and making sure you communicate the right way, making sure you let them know ahead of time, like, hey, look, I'm the coach, you need to respect me.
Yeah.
And at the same time too, like giving that respect too. I think I've found out really quick, especially with, I think more with the girls, the the female wrestlers than the guys, was the first time I came in at Palomar for the girls. Like, I didn't know anyone. I was getting to know everyone, and it probably took me like 2 weeks to like figure out everyone's names. And but it was one of those, like, once I think once we went to one of the tournaments, and I think they were chatting with me like the entire time. And after that, it was like they I had their respect after that. It
Yeah.
was so I think just like creating that relationship with them, and being able to not necessarily relax, but just understand, hey, look, you can talk to me, and we can have a create that relationship. And I think from there, I'm able to coach a little bit better because I know how you respond to things. But
Yeah.
it's a lot of work, a lot of work.
Yeah, I feel like I developed a lot of relationships with the girls too that I'm coaching. It's like obviously in high school and stuff like that, a lot of them are like more clicked up and closer to someone that they already like. So they're obviously gonna be like, oh, more with somebody else. But it's not like I care. I don't want to say I don't care, but like if like I know they talk to me and stuff, but obviously they prefer somebody more than somebody else, and I don't really like mind it. It's more of a okay, like I don't really care, but if they want my help, I'll be there. Like especially with technique, a lot of them like come to me specifically for technique. They don't come to a lot of other people. Like they're just like, Farah, what do I do here, Coach Farah? Like, what do I do this or like this? Oh my God, I have this one girl. Okay. Oh, cute. If you just see her, you would understand 100% what I'm talking about. She's very like, there's just something she does on the mat that's so confusing. Like, she's so aggressive on the mat. Like, not even on the mat. She's so aggressive in practice. She basically popped out one of the girls' like elbows because she's just so aggressive. But she doesn't mean to be like that. Whatever, the girl's elbow's fine. She's good. She's good. So we go into a match. She's so slow. She's just so slow. Dude, keep in mind she's the fastest girl in school. Fastest girl. From track, cross country, whatever, right? Fastest girl in school, moving so slow, won't get off a bottom. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I remember I don't like yelling. I don't like yelling at the girls, especially, right? But this one time I had to yell at her. I was like, dude, you're faster than her. What are you doing? And she was like, yeah, you're right. And then she got up, and then that's it. She won the match.
Sometimes, yeah, people have to get that little kick in the butt there. Sometimes it's weird because I know there was times where even with the girls team with Palomar is, and also we had a really talented team, but I know there was times where, like, I was like, should I just get on her, or do I need to just back off, let them sulk a little bit and then come back? But so it's this one I was like still figuring out, like, hey, I'm like, hey, look, you need to get this together and come on, or like, hey, relax. So it's just figuring out what works best. And some of them had some actually, struggled with some things as far as with them being seen as a coach, or maybe they've been running practices, and they're not getting the maybe the opportunity to do certain things as opposed to a guy wrestler. Do you feel like that's, you know maybe from your perspective, do you feel like you have to do a lot of, do things a little bit extra, or do more things in order to be seen?
I feel like when I first graduated high school, I did help out at my old high school. And then I was there helping out. I'm not gonna put two perspective from two different schools, but back in my old high school, I feel like I did have to get put in more to be seen, you know? Because obviously in reality, I like I just graduated, and then these kids already knew who I was. They went to high school with me, you know what I mean? We went to the same parties together, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just like I didn't get respected at all, and especially the coaches. Like they've seen me like when I was a kid up until now. You think they're gonna like respect somebody right away? No, they're gonna see me as a kid. So I was just like, yeah, like I'm not gonna work on this. You know what I mean? But there's some girls that did respect me because I was the one that brought them into wrestling. You know what I mean? And like some of them did respect me, especially since I was their captain in high school, Just the girls, but the guys would just look at me and try to make jokes, and I'm just like, dude, like get out of my face. But here at the new high school that I'm coaching at, it's because like the coach apparently was looking at me since I was in high school. Like he was like, you're a really good wrestler. I know who you are. Yada yada yada. You know what I mean? And I had it in like I had Honey. She was also coaching there because he also like he wanted me and Honey on the team, but obviously he's not gonna say that. It was just like a thought. He was like, damn, I wish they were on my roster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, Honey was working there. Honey told me to come because he apparently wanted me to go there. Like he wanted me to coach. He was like, I want another girls coach. I want her on the staff. I go there, whatever, but I feel like the people that no, sorry, let me rephrase. Me, I feel like I didn't have that much trouble, but I did definitely have a lot of trouble in high school because of like there's the students that look at you as a friend, you know what I mean? Or there's the staff that just know you for so long that obviously they're not going to take me serious and see me as like nothing more than a student. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But here, especially where I'm coaching at, I just have like it's me, Honey, and then the girls head coach. The girls head coach is heavily on like you guys are gonna take them serious. If I hear anything wrong, then you guys are gonna come like I'm gonna find out. They're gonna come to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like I didn't have that much struggle, especially I mean like running practices, yeah. Like they just look at me and start joking around because they think I'm gonna like play with them. I'm like, no, dude, you're practicing right now. Like sometimes I had to yell at them once. I was like, get up and run. You know what I mean? But I feel like especially being a girls coach, people are just like, oh, you shouldn't be talking to other girls like that. You know what I mean? Like younger girls like that. And I'm like, dude, I am a girl. So you think I'm not gonna talk to them how I want to be talked to, especially if like lock in, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like I didn't have that much trouble. I did have a lot of trouble with like running practices on my own though, and they took them taking me serious, you know? But
Yeah.
they would take me very serious on the mat. They would take me very serious at tournaments. They would take me very serious if the other coaches were here, you know?
Yeah.
Running practices 1-on-1, that's when they like are like a little and then but I told them to get up and run and they do so.
All right. Yeah, that can be tough. Yeah, sort of running, a structured practice and, definitely, making sure that they sort of focus and lock in and understanding what you're going to show that day and how is that going to be prevalent to what we're doing during the week. So yeah, it can be hard. It can be hard. I know I'm not like the best. Um, Coach Buck does a really good job sort of structuring practices. I'm not the best at like structuring practices, but if there's like certain things that I've seen from maybe past matches, past tournaments that I know we need to work on, then I'll focus on that and find ways of, running practice that way. So from a more of a adaptive sort of creative side, that tends to be my strong point. But if I had to like structure like day by day what we're doing, I'm not the best at that. I would hand that off to somebody else. But if there's certain things like specifically, hey, I saw this at the tournament, we struggled. Let's work on this right now. Yeah, it's always a learning process. It's always so it's one of those things where something can work for you, one season, and maybe the next season, they're just not, communicating, and or maybe they're not getting the right, response as you would want as student athletes, and making sure you communicate the right way, making sure you let them know ahead of time, like, hey, look, I'm the coach, you need to respect me.
Yeah.
And at the same time too, like giving that respect too. I think I've found out really quick, especially with think more with the girls, the female wrestlers than the guys. Was the first time I came in at Palomar for the girls, like I didn't know anyone, and I was getting to know everyone, and it probably took me like 2 weeks to like figure out everyone's names, and but it was one of those like once. I think once we went to one of the tournaments and I think they were chatting with me like the entire time. And after that, it was like I had their respect after that. It
Yeah.
was so I think just like creating that relationship with them, and being able to not necessarily relax, but just understand, hey, look, you can talk to me, and we can have a create that relationship, and I think from there I'm able to coach a little bit better because I know how you respond to things. But
Yeah.
so yeah, it's a lot of work, a lot of work.
100%. Yeah, I feel like I developed a lot of relationships with the girls too that I'm coaching It's like obviously in high school and stuff like that, a lot of them are like more clicked up and closer to someone that they already like. You know what I mean? So they're obviously gonna be like, oh, more with somebody else. But it's not like I care. I don't want to say I don't care, but like if like I know they talk to me and stuff, but obviously they prefer somebody more than somebody else, and I don't really like mind it. It's more of a okay, like I don't really care, but if they want my help, I'll be there. Like especially with technique, a lot of them like come to me specifically for technique. They don't come to a lot of other people. Like they're just like, Farah, what do I do here, Coach Farah? Like, what do I do this or like this? Oh my God, I have this one girl. Okay. Oh, cute. If you just see her, you would understand 100% what I'm talking about. She's very like, there's just something she does on the mat that's so confusing. Like, she's so aggressive on the mat. Like, not even on the mat. She's so aggressive in practice. She basically popped out one of the girls' like elbows because she's just so aggressive. But she doesn't mean to be like that. You know what I mean? Whatever, the girl's elbow's fine. She's good. She's good. So we go into a match. She's so slow. You know what I mean? She's just so slow. Dude, keep in mind she's the fastest girl in school. Fastest girl. From track, cross country, whatever, right? Fastest girl in school, moving so slow, won't get off a bottom. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I remember I don't like yelling. I don't like yelling at the girls especially, right? But this one time I had to yell at her. I was like, dude, you're faster than her. What are you doing? And she was like, you know what, you're right. And then she got up and then that's it. She won the match.
Yeah, so yeah, sometimes yeah, people have to get that little kick in the butt there. Sometimes it's yeah, it's sort of weird because I know there was times where even with the girls team with Palomar is and also I mean we had a really talented team, but I know there was times where like I was like, should I just get on her or do I need to just back off, let them sulk a little bit and then come back? But yeah, it's just when I was like still figuring out like, hey, I'm like, hey, look, you need to get this together and come on, or like, hey, relax, So it's just figuring out what works best, especially for females, because it can be a little, it can be a little tough. I know with the guys, even with them, I'm learning how to like coach without me actually like screaming. Now, there's a couple times, especially with our boys team, like I've had to scream at them, because they just done some dumb stuff, and we practice on it all week. That's what makes it even worse. But yeah, it's just one of those like still trying to figure out like what the best way is. So it's still a learning process.
Yeah. I've never really like I feel like it's because I'm trying to develop a strong relationship with these girls. I never really yell at them because it's like I said, like I've dealt with the coach that yells and I don't like it. It kind of hurts, you know what I mean? It's kind of like damn, like I don't even deserve to be here anymore if he's talking to me like that, you know? But like nah, I'm a eater. Like I'm so hungry all the time, like it's crazy. But uh yeah, with my girls, I never really yell at them except for that one time, like because I'm trying to develop a strong relationship with them. But then I just get a girl that's doing dump, like rolling around on the mat. You know what I mean? Dude, what are you doing? I have a girl too that is coming out of jujitsu wrestling. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So whole nother thing, locking hands, rolling on her back, somehow getting on top, don't doing all that, doing this. I'm not getting reversal, getting pinned, not throwing. I'm confused. I literally had to yell at her, but it was cool. She's like she still respects me a lot. She still like prefers me and her corner more than a lot of other coaches. But I remember this one time she was listening to her friends too in the corner, and she does something dumb. And I remember I had to pull. She was crying outside, and I was like, "Everybody leave! I need to talk to her." And I was telling her, like, I don't yell at them, especially when they're crying, because I've gotten yelled at when I was crying.
Yeah,
I told her I was like, "I'm not gonna lie to you, that was kind of on you, but it's okay." Because you got more. You're still hungry, dude. Like, it's okay. It's your first year. Like, it's your first, like, you know what I mean? It's okay. And then she's fine after, and then
good
all that.
deal, good deal. Well, I said before we sign off on this podcast, um, one question, and then you can throw out some shout outs to just some people that that's been a big influence on your life. But what would you tell your younger self if you had the chance to go back? So if you had the little time machine and you like, hey, I can go back to when Farah was 7 years old. I'm sure still screaming and you know screaming at people and battling people. What would you tell your younger self?
Stay hungry. That's all it like just stay hungry, continue going. Uh take every like I said, take everything as a lesson or a blessing. Um and just literally stay hungry like continue being me. I don't think I would want to change anything about myself because like I'm still learning. I'm still growing. And I feel like if I were to tell myself to change, that'd be just unethical. Like, just keep going, learn from everything, or like stay close to the people that you like. But girl, let's get into some wrestling first. Let's get into some wrestling first. That's all I can say.
All right, before we sign off, if you want to throw out some shout outs to people that that's been some big influences on you, or anything else that's going on, feel free to throw a couple of shout outs.
I want to shout out Coach Box and Coach Q right here. I want to shout you two out. You guys have really helped me perceive a lot of the things in life as a whole different, like a whole different thing, especially as like a woman now. I want to shout out uh Jackson Coons, Joseph Shep. They helped me in high school and they still communicate with me here and then. I want to shout out John. John's the Santana girls coach that did help me get into like coaching and like the girls starting to respect me more. I want to shout out obviously my mom, love her. She's doing everything. She's doing the best that she can. I want to shout out my two older brothers, Katav and Abdullah. I've seen them more as like a parental figure, so they kind of help me grow a lot as an individual. And I want to shout out. I don't want to say a lot of other people. I'm gonna shout out my friends. If they know who they are, then they know who they are. I don't want to shout out everybody. But yeah, that's all I got. Thank you for having me.
Hey, not a problem, not a problem. Like I said, this is another episode of actually the Out of Bounds segment with the Creative Brew. So if you get a chance, please check out this episode on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and then the full video will be on the YouTube on my YouTube page at Quantel Langford. So thank y'all. Very appreciative. Keep supporting women's wrestling. And like I said, good luck to Farah as she gets ready to go off to higher education and hopefully keep spreading her truth and coaching and having fun.
Get a lot of money.
Yep,
You get
that's
that
first. So hey, this has been the Creative Brew. Be creative, stay inspired.
All I know is hard work, really nothing else. I resort to smoking weed, yo, cause nothing helps. Called to hold me up, told them loot to sample up. We gotta come together now, cause I had enough. The time is now, there'll never be another one.